Hello.
Ladies and gentlemen, and welcome to my first ever platinum review for Final Fantasy 16. Before we get into the game, let me just tell you about these video series that I have been planning to go get off for a very long time now. In these videos, what I'll be telling you about is my general opinion of the game, how I feel about it from a gameplay, story, and presentation perspective, and also will be giving you the laydown of what the trophy list of the game and what the platinum requirements are so that you can know whether or not you want to play the game and also what you should expect if you're going to enter it from a trophy hunter's perspective. Another thing that you should keep in mind is that since I'm posting these videos for the games that I have obtained the platinum trophy for, these may not coincide with the release of the game. And as we can see for this game in particular, it's been a while since this has released, so there can be a fair amount of spoilers in these videos because apart from the game, we also have to talk about the trophy description and all the trophy list that is going on over there. So there can be some things that I might have to spoil in order to give you the whole breakdown and rundown. So I hope you guys don't mind that. And for my feedback, I would like to let you know that since I have not received a review code or anything for these games, and these are actually games that I have brought and played and also got the platinum for, so that means I've gone the extra mile on them. So I might be a little bit more critical for these games than most reviewers are usually. So your opinion may differ on that, but I just wanted to let that information out there for your so that you guys know what you're getting into here. Okay, and also as I said, spoiler warnings, there are some scenes which you might see going on the screen. Everything you see here is my gameplay which I have recorded on my PlayStation system. And with that said, let's get into the game, please. Before we talk about this game in particular, let me tell you that Final Fantasy is a series that is very near and dear to my heart. I have played a lot of Final Fantasy games in the past, and I was actually very excited to get this game. Like, I brought this on launch and I platinumed it on launch. I did not post the review then, silly me. But I have played this game when it launched. I bought it at full price, and I think that this is actually a pretty solid game. Like the platinum trophy is the platinum list actually makes you do something which some games make you do, which all of our trophy hunters don't like, which is to replay the whole game. But I think there are some great moments in the game which are so awesome that I did not actually mind watching them again. And so let's start with speaking about the game. The game has, as you can see, excellent presentation. There are some amazing boss fights, some great story moments, and so the combat really stands out. And like there are some moments where you actually feel like you're going Goku or like you're going Super Saiyan from Dragon Ball Z, and like every time you think that, oh, this is a bigger enemy, how am I supposed to beat that? And your character just somehow levels up and go is up totally up to the challenge, which is actually really fun. Like there are some really fun moments where you're like, oh my god, I can't believe I just did that. With that said, there are actually also long cutscenes over here. I don't know if you guys are into that, but as a Final Fantasy fan, I think you will understand what I'm saying here. There are some really, really long cutscenes. Like I understand the story build up and the way they have gone over with the presentation, but some cutscenes like they really do go on. I remember during one playthrough where I was streaming the game, there was a cutscene playing. I was so tired playing, it was late at night. I went to sleep. The cutscene was on. I got up from sleep and the cutscene was still on. That was like a 15-20 minute cutscene of just people yabbering and yabbering and yabbering on. That, although I'm not to say that it was bad or the dialogues were bad or the writing is bad or anything, but yes, they do tend to overstay their welcome at certain points, is what I'm trying to say. Another issue this game suffers from is the basic Final Fantasy or the RPG trope, wherein you feel like every person says something, but they are actually technically repeating the same point again and again. Like you watch the first cutscene of the game or the first cutscene of the chapter, and you're like, okay, I know what I have to do. This is what I have to do. This is how I have to get there. And then you go through and talk to 10, 12 people, and they tell you the same thing again and again, over and over again. Like I understand you need to punch some points into you, like knock some points into your brain, so you have to give emphasis on them, so you have to repeat certain points, but like for every single point to be repeated 50,000 times before you get to the end of the chapter, that did get a bit annoying for me. But as far as I can say, those are the only grievances I have with this game. Apart from that, everything else I thoroughly enjoyed. Like a huge shout out to the music of this game. The music is truly epic and awesome. Like there are moments where I just wanted to pause the game, and like I did literally actually pause the game in hopes of like maybe the music will keep playing, but it does not happen all the time. So I was like, okay, there's something cool going on the screen, and I really want to play the game. But wait, let me just pause it and let me just take it in the music that's going on, and it is actually epic. It's actually very good, and it's really fun. Like it actually, I think it brings the entire game, the entire presentation to a much more higher level than it would have been. I mean, it actually is an impeccable level that they have achieved with the presentation, with the cutscenes, with the boss fights, with all the moving things, like 10,000 things moving on the screen at one time, and it is really awesome. It is like with all the music, with everything going on, it is a sight to behold sometimes. The photo mode element is just awesome in this game. I have spent like 2-3 hours just taking photos in this game, while and that is on top of the 80 hour platinum that we are going to get into in some time. Alright, so that's everything I think I have to say about the presentation aspect of it. Now let's get into the gameplay. The gameplay of this game, as I have already pointed out, is really good. Like, you actually are a titan in this game. You are battling titans, but it's not like you are just some little humanoid character like Ant-Man going in tiny form against Thanos or something like that. That's not what's happening. You are another Thanos in front of that Thanos that you're fighting, and it actually leads to some really cool moments. Like the actual boss fights and the moments, the story moments which are in this game are truly awesome. The combat, I know, I don't know if you guys know this, but they had the Devil May Cry 5 combat director on this game, and the combat does actually, the initial impression of the combat is very good, is what I will say, but it lacks depth. The basic combat when you are in human form, where you have to fight this hordes and hordes of enemies, it does lack a bit of depth. Like I was expecting a lot more from the combat director and the team that they hired, and that may be just a personal opinion. You guys may be really happy with the combat, and I totally get that. Like, yes, the first couple of hours with a particular weapon type or the ability that you have unlocked are really fun. Like, and they do keep giving you new abilities and new weapons throughout the game to keep it fresh. But apart from a couple of different weapon attacks and tricks up your sleeve, it is actually a bit underwhelming. Like the basic combat, I would say that it's not just that the combat is underwhelming, but it's the damage that you're doing. Like even when you are at max level, when you are at a point when you are fighting the grunts from the first level, because there is some open world component going on in here. So if you're fighting grunts from the first level of the game who are actually very under level to you, it's still the same thing of like hitting them with a couple of times, you do a magic attack, you roll over. It's just that hitting them and getting your meter to build up and unleash your ability. The abilities are really fun, the abilities are really cool, but I actually wanted us to be able to hit back to back abilities with a bit more frequency than the game actually allows you to, because the I think unless and until you are hitting an enemy with the proper ability, you're not doing any good damage to them, you're not having any meaningful impact into the fight apart from the abilities. And as I said, the abilities, yes, very cool, very flashy, very fun, but the whole system of like hitting the enemy with your basic moves, which are the same all over the game, no matter which ability you have on, and then building up your meter, then doing it again, it does get to you at some point. It is a very minor complaint, I know, I am being a bit typical. Apart from that, everything else with the gameplay is very good. But there is one more complaint that I have with this game, which all the Final Fantasy games, or maybe basically all RPGs do, is where they slow down the gameplay purposefully at certain times. Like I don't mind that, I understand that for in order to make an impact for a particular scene, or to let you know something is going down, you have to slow down the character so that you can get what is going on. But when it happens again and again, and when, as I said, there are repeated points where they do it, like the same point is being emphasized again, which I already know, I think I could have skipped it. Just give me the option to sprint through this part of the game. That is all I ask. But I honestly believe that is all that I can complain about the game. Like the combat is really good, really fun, really flashy, but the basic gameplay cycle is a bit broken. It could have been better. Like I am not saying it is to the point that it is broken or it is a letdown or anything, but all I'm saying is that you see the potential that this could have been so much more better with just a few tiny tweaks here or there. That is all I'm saying. So it makes me sad that for an otherwise perfect game, these are the little things that are holding it back. So yeah, but as I said, these are just very little things holding back a behemoth of a game which just keeps cruising through no matter what you throw at it. And the points that it does cruise through are actually epic, are actually really awesome. Some of the boss fights are awesome. You can go through them in any order, and I think there are parallels there. You can say that okay, this particular boss fight was better than the later one or something like that, but that does not take away from the fact that there are moments where your jaw will completely drop, and that is I think what they were going for, and that is what I think Final Fantasy as a game, as a series, as a franchise has achieved for the first time. Like there have been other games like God of War and Shadow of the Colossus, or some better games that maybe the name is skipping my mind their name is skipping my mind at this time. But yes, Final Fantasy has never been this awesome. Like it has never been this epic. Final Fantasy has always been epic. It is fantasy after all, but it has never been this epic. So that is a really fun thing that they have pulled off. A really cool thing that the developers have pulled off, and hats off to them for that. So I think I have said everything I can about the gameplay. Like it is fun, it is cool. There are some elements which they could have fixed, which they could have maybe tweaked a little bit to make it better. But apart from that, it's really good. Yeah, presentation wise also there is a whole, like I'm not going to go ahead and spoil the story for you, but there is a whole like conspiracy theory thing going on over there. Like the whole world is at risk and everything, and there are different kingdoms. So there's some Game of Thrones elements also thrown into there. Like there's a kingdom that starts on the top and then it just completely vanishes from the face of the planet, and yet things happen. They still get to play a bit of a role. All the good characters, all the characters that you do invest in, that they are your party members that you are playing with, they get a decent payoff. They, like, you think, you feel that their story is completed, they did their part. They I don't know if you guys know that, but every Final Fantasy game ever has ever had a Sid, and what they do with the Sid in this game is actually very epic, very awesome. I mean, even from a character standpoint, from a gameplay standpoint, and from the story and dialogue, the writing across the board is awesome. I believe there were some missed chances in the way they handled the story and the element, because they are dealing with slavery here. And I think with this being Final Fantasy and this being a gaming medium, they could have gone all out and, had some real cultural, social significance with the story. But they just, like, there are slaves there who are, having to deal with people, who are having to work for people, and they are enslaved, they are in horrible conditions. That is all you get to know about that. Like, they could have done a lot more. I'm not saying it's treated poorly or that it is not done well. All I'm saying is that it could have been a lot better. And that is everything I should say about the game, or I can say about the game at this point. I believe I have actually blabbered on longer than I expected to, but I am having fun talking about Final Fantasy 16, so why not? So now let's get into trophy mode. The trophies of this game are technically very straightforward, nothing much to worry about. It is a long game, it is a big ass game, so you are looking at around 70, 60 to 70 hours at least. I would say 70 to 80, even depending on how you take this game. There is no difficulty in the game. The game has a basic difficulty setting in the beginning, but you can make things easier for you with the equipment you equip. I would suggest getting the ring that makes time slow down just before you have to dodge, and playing the game with that. That makes the whole game a breeze. Like, you will not be having any problem with any encounter or anything that you would be expecting. Like, there are some trophies tied to different weapon abilities which you have to handle. This ring makes it very easy. Apart from that, there are some monster hunts in this game are really difficult, but again, getting the timing to dodge, like, you get a time to dodge away from the attack, and that builds up your meter as well. So that is awesome. I think I don't have to explain it any better than that. You do actually have to play the game twice, as I said in the beginning. You have to do it again in the hard mode once you have beaten the trophy. Once you have beaten the story. Once you have beaten the story, you do it in the hard mode. But since you have played the game, you can actually skip all the cutscenes apart from some unskippable ones, of course. You can skip through all the cutscenes, and I think it will take you another 20 hours or something, maybe less. I do have a full platinum walkthrough for this game out there. As I said, nothing particularly missable, nothing particularly that you should watch out for. I would just suggest, like for the best way to progress through this platinum, just go through the game, play the story, and as you level up, like keep doing the side content as it gets unlocked for you. There are some monster hunts that you will not be able to do in the later game, but apart from that, everything else just keep doing them as you're doing the story, and you are very good. And that there is all I have to say about the game and its platinum trophy, people. Not particularly difficult. I think it sits at around 3 or 4, maybe 5 if you're new to Final Fantasy games. On the difficulty scale, hours, as I said, 70 to 80 hours max, and yeah, pretty easy going. Quite a fun platinum though. Now, speaking of the scores, I'll be scoring these games on two verticals. The first one being, of course, the game itself, whether you should play it, whether you should buy it, where I think it stands overall, and the other vertical will be the platinum. So, for this game, the proper game score, I'm going to give it a 9 out of 10. I think this is as close as you can get to a must play Final Fantasy game. Final Fantasy VII Rebirth notwithstanding. And as for the platinum score, I would like to give it a 7 out of 10. A very fun platinum. I know playing it twice does not make it as appealing as you might want it to be, but since the game is so much fun, you are going to have a damn good time platinuming this game. And if you do buy it, I think you definitely should play it. I think it's been a while since this game is out. The DLCs are also out, and they sit on the same difficulty level as the game itself. And I believe they are around 8 to 10 hours for each DLC to get all the trophies. So you can look into that as well, and you can easily get a deal on this game as well as the DLCs for that 100% completionist, for all those 100% completionists out there, as I mean to say. So there you have it, folks, my first platinum review for Final Fantasy 16. I really hope you guys like it. Please do share your feedback in the comment section. If you like this video, please give it a like and subscribe to my channel. I'm planning to bringing more such videos for your entertainment pretty soon, and I hope you guys enjoy the content I am making out there. So please spread the words and let me know what you think about this one. If you have some differences of opinion, let's get into the comments, talk to me. I will be replying there. And this is it. Apart from that, wherever you are, whatever you're doing, stay safe, stay healthy, and stay busy playing some good games. This is your friend Galactus, and this has been a really hell of a time talking to you guys. Thank you.